Thank you. Beyond boundaries. What a theme, huh? Beyond. Now, when I think of boundaries, I think of rules, regulations, and restrictions. And I think of the parents and the teachers and the supervisors who hold us accountable with regard to those boundaries. Now, that's not a bad thing. I know if you're like me, I need supervisors. I need someone holding me accountable to do the right thing. But beyond boundaries is something different. I think of those leaders, those teachers, those supervisors, those parents who inspire us to go beyond the call of duty, to do more than we have to do it not because they tell us, but because we want to. I would like to share with you what the research says about how to make that happen. And not just for other people, but for yourself. Here's the deal. How can we inspire people and ourselves to be self-motivated? There's another word. It's called empowerment. You've heard that word, right? Now, the management definition of empowerment is get her done. Just get her done with fewer resources and less time. I empower you. Make it happen. I'm talking about feeling empowered. That's different. Feeling empowered is when you're self-motivated. Now, if you want to know if you feel empowered or if your child, your student, your worker feels empowered, ask them 3 questions. And if they say yes to these 3 questions, they will feel empowered. And by the way, this is not based on common sense. It's based on research. But you've all been there, so it'll feel like common sense. Question number 1, can you do it? Albert Bandura calls it self-efficacy. Do you believe you can do it? Do you have the time, the knowledge, and the training to do what we're asking you to do? If you answer yes, good. Second question, will it work? Do you believe that we're asking you to do the process will work? Albert Bandura calls that response efficacy, believing that the behavior will lead to the ultimate outcome. By the way, that takes education, right? We have to show them the data. We might show them some theory. We show them, teach them why this might work. I just used the word education. Earlier, I used the word training. Is there a difference? In elementary school, we call it education. Middle school, education. High school, education. College, higher education. Then you go to industry. What do you call it? Training. You have your training department. There must be a difference. Well, you know the difference. Do you want your kids to have sex education or sex training? And your kids might answer the question differently. Because you know that training means you do the behavior and you get feedback. That's powerful. Powerful. Have you ever heard this word, online training? It's an oxymoron, isn't it? I mean, training is watch the behavior. Online training, it's like plastic silverware, jumbo shrimp, legal brief, country music. I mean, it doesn't work. Okay, so if you answer yes to it will work. Third question, is it worth it? So we've had a training question, we've had an educational question. This is the motivational question. Do you believe the consequences? This is about consequences. B.F. Skinner taught us this, selection by consequences. Dale Carnegie quoted B.F. Skinner and said, from the day you were born, everything you did was because you wanted something for doing it. Consequences. Is it worth it? So you have to convince people that it's worth it. Now, by the way, if you answer yes to those 3 questions, you feel competent.
Please welcome to the stage,
right?
Dr. Sumit
You feel
Desai.
competent at doing worthwhile work. You've all been there. When you feel competent at doing worthwhile work, you're more likely to be self-motivated.
I want to take you back to
You've
my
been
early
there.
20s.
No one has to be looking over you.
my first
You feel
job
now
as a
here's the
junior
challenge,
physician
leaders,
in the UK.
teachers. How do
I
you
was
inspire
overworked,
people to feel
underpaid,
competent? Well, you give
and
them
constantly
feedback.
tired.
You give them
I
recognition.
was working what we call
show them
a 1 in 2,
they are competent.
which meant that I worked a full day,
Okay, I got one
stayed
more.
on call
Another
overnight,
C word.
worked the whole of the next
Choice.
day before finally going home
Your
to
common
get some
sense will
sleep,
tell you.
only to
When
do
you
the whole thing
believe
again the next
you have a
morning.
sense of autonomy, a
So
sense
when
of
I
choice in what you're
received
doing,
out of the
you feel
blue
more
an
self-motivated.
invitation to
B.F.
meet with a
Skinner taught us
financial
that too.
advisor for
In his
free
book
at the
Beyond
hospital
Freedom
in
and
which I
Dignity, way
work,
back in
I was
1971,
surprised.
reading that book changed
thought,
my
why
life
not
because I
take a break?
realized that I am controlled by
I remember that
consequences.
meeting really well.
But sometimes
It
I don't
seemed
feel
rather
controlled.
important.
When I'm
It
working
was
for
in
a
the
pleasant
hospital's
consequence,
posh
it feels
meeting
good. It
room.
feels like I'm working
Well,
to
as
get
fancy as you
something.
can
When
get
I'm
on the
working to
UK's
avoid a
National Health
reversive
Service.
consequence,
And
I
the
feel
first thing I
controlled.
noticed when
That's
I
called
walked in the
negative
room
reinforcement.
was
So
that
here's
there
a
was
challenge,
a
leaders.
carpet.
How do we get people to become
It felt
success
so good
seekers
beneath my
rather than
feet
failure
compared to the
avoiders?
stone-cold floors of the
First day
ward.
of introductory
And
psychology
there was
class, I
also a
teach
couch
2 classes of
with
600
blue
students.
cushions.
Maybe some of you have been in that
I
class and
sank
remember the
down
first
into
day
it.
I
And
say,
I was almost
how many are
asleep
here
when
to
Dan,
avoid
the
failure?
financial advisor, arrived.
And 80% raise your
He
hand.
was tall,
And I say, well,
handsome,
thanks for coming. I know
dark
you're
fashionable
motivated,
suit.
but you're not happy campers.
Did I say handsome?
You probably told your friends, I
And
got to go to class.
He greeted me with
It's a
this big
requirement.
smile.
Not
He
I
asked
get to
me
go to
many
class.
questions,
It's an
mostly about my
opportunity.
finances.
You probably
And
woke
he
up
built
to an
up this
alarm
great
clock,
rapport with me.
not an opportunity
And
clock.
after about an hour, which seemed
And it's
like
all in
a
how you
vast
see
amount
it.
of time
Really,
to be
it's all in
discussing
how
my
you see it. It's your
extremely
paradigm.
limited
It's how you
disposable income at the
communicate to
time,
others and how
he
you
recommended I
communicate to
invest in a
yourself.
fund and that he would write a detailed
So
report for
Ellen
me
Langer
and
said
get
in
it
her
back
book,
to me within a week.
Mindfulness,
And all of
she
this
said, and
was
psychologists
for
know,
free.
when you perceive choice,
I was impressed.
you
Sounds
perceive
great, doesn't it?
motivation. You're more
In my
motivated.
tired state,
So the
I
deal
blurted
is,
out,
for
"What's in
yourself,
it
sit
for
back
you?"
and reflect. Be mindful
And
of the choices you
Dan
have.
smiled,
And talk
and then he
about being a
disclosed,
success seeker rather than
"Well,
a failure avoider. It's all
There's
how
no
you
such
talk,
thing
how
as
you
a free
communicate
lunch,
to yourself
and I will
and to
receive
others.
a commission
I got a
if you
4th
invest
C
in the
word.
fund that I'm recommending.
Community. Powerful word.
Those
Psychologists
words changed
know
everything for me.
that social support is
For the
critical.
previous hour,
People
I
who
thought
perceive
Dan
a
had
sense
been
of
giving me good
relatedness,
advice.
a sense
I
of
liked
connection
him.
with other people,
But
they
now
feel
that his ulterior
motivated and
motive
they're
had been
happier.
revealed, I didn't
I
trust
want to
him as much.
recite a poem.
Perhaps that's to be expected.
It's called The Cookie
Perhaps
Thief by
that's
Valerie Cox.
Rational.
And as
But
I
here's the
recite this
strange
poem,
part.
there's only 2 characters, a man
I
and a
didn't
lady.
want Dan
Put
to
yourself
know
in the
that I no longer
situation.
trusted
Be
him.
mindful. Think about
I
the
didn't
situation
want Dan to
and
know
what
that
you
his
would do.
disclosure
Okay, here we
had
go.
corrupted
A
our
woman was
great
waiting in an
rapport
airport one
and
night for several
fantastic
hours before her
relationship.
flight.
I
She
didn't
hunted
want
for a
to
book in the
insinuate
airport
in any
shop,
way
bought a
that
bag of cookies,
I now thought
and
he was
found a
giving me
place to
bad
drop.
advice.
She was
So I
engrossed in her
started to
book and
feel
happened to
quite
see that the man beside her,
And I
as
actually
bold
felt
as
more
could be,
pressure
took a
to go
cookie or 2
along
from the bag
and
between.
take his advice and
But she
sign
tried
on
to
the
ignore
dotted line just
to
to
avoid a
avoid
scene.
signaling this.
She read, munched cookies, and watched
and
the
right
clock
there,
as the
in that
gutsy cookie
tension
thief
that I
diminished her
felt
stock.
was the real
She was
thrill.
getting more irritated as the minutes ticked
I'm
by,
Dr. Sunita
thinking if
Saar.
I wasn't so nice,
I'm
I'd
a
blacken his
physician turned
eye.
organizational psychologist
With each cookie
and
she
a professor at Cornell
he
University.
took one too.
And I've
When
studied
only one was left, she wondered what he'd do. With a
compliance,
smile on his
influence,
face
and
and a
authority
nervous
for
laugh,
years.
he took the last
And what
cookie
I found
and he
is
broke
that
it in
particular
half.
feeling
He offered her
arises in
half
so many
as he ate
situations
the
that
other.
we encounter.
She snatched it from him
I
and thought,
call
oh,
it
brother, this guy has
intimidation,
some nerve,
anxiety.
and he's also rude. He didn't even show
It's
any
the fear
gratitude.
Of saying something
She'd never known when she'd
negative
been
to
so wrong.
someone,
She
especially when
sighed
they're
with relief
standing
when her
right in
flight
front
was
of
called.
you.
She gathered her belongings and
We
headed for the
think
gate,
we're being
refusing to look
polite.
back
We think
at the
we're
thieving
being
ingrate.
good. But
She boarded the
sometimes
plane and sank on her seat.
being good
Then she saw her
gets in
book,
the way of
which was
doing
almost
what's
complete.
right.
As she reached in her baggage, she
Insinuation
gasped with
anxiety
surprise.
is
There
the
was
reason
her bag of
why
cookies
we
in front of
accept
her
bad medical
eyes.
advice, unnecessary
I've mined her
repairs
here.
to our car,
She moaned in
unethical
despair.
suggestions at work.
Then the others were his.
It's why we don't say
He tried
anything
to
to the
share.
massage therapist when they use
Too late to
too much
apologize.
force.
She realized with grief
We
that she was the
absorb
rude one,
discomfort,
the ingrate.
emotional,
The thief.
physical, ethical.
So where were you
Because
when I was?
we're
Where
afraid
were
to say
you?
anything
Whose side were you
negative to
on?
anyone else.
Were you thinking
We want
independent
to save their
or
face,
interdependent?
so we endure
I don't
pain.
blame you if you think
That's
independent.
tension.
You know, that's how we're raised. Nice
Whether
guys
it's
finish
a
last.
gut
Squeaky
punch,
wheel
a
gets the
tight
grease.
knot in the stomach, a
Gotta blow your
flush
own
in the
horn.
Chest.
You know,
That's the signal.
independent.
And
We
it
come in this
arises
life of ours
whenever our
dependent.
instincts to
others, and then we
comply
can't wait to become
collides
teenagers.
with our deeper
You know,
values.
we're too old to do what
That
kids do, too
particular
young to do what
feeling
adults do,
is
so then we'll do what
powerful
nobody else
and
would do to
paralyzing.
assert our
And what's more,
independence.
it doesn't just affect
And some of us get
us.
stuck there.
For
We're
example,
stuck.
imagine
I'll do it
someone
myself.
in your office
I don't need
tells
you.
a joke at somebody else's expense.
Not good.
Everyone is laughing.
We need each other.
But something inside you says,
We have to have each other's
"It's not
back.
okay."
We
Maybe
need
you
a
witness
sense of
harassment
community.
on the subway.
This independence
A man
culture
is
that we
saying
got
offensive
to
things
move
to a
to
woman.
interdependent.
She tries to ignore him.
Okay,
but
4
you
C
can't.
words that can fuel
Insinuation
self-motivation
anxiety is
and
the
I think
reason
can fuel
why one
actively
study
caring for
found that
people.
on average,
Let me tell you a story
9
to put it
out
all
of
together.
10 healthcare workers,
It happened over 60
most of
years
them
ago. I
nurses,
remember it like
don't
yesterday.
feel comfortable speaking up.
My parents
when they
asked me,
see a colleague
"Hey
or a
Scott,
physician
how'd you like to
making
get
an
drum
error."
lessons? How'd you like to
It could
play
be
the
why
drums?"
co-pilots remain
Oh, man.
silent.
Would
when
I
they
ever?
see their
I'm thinking
superiors
of Buddy
making a
Rich
mistake.
and Gene Krupa.
Imagine you
Most
were
of you
in
guys
that
don't know
hospital
those
or
names,
on
but
that
they were the
airline.
drummers.
You
In those days, a drum was in the
want
front of the
people to
band.
speak
They had
up
white pearl
in these
drum sets, and I
situations.
saw myself. That was my
in
vision.
each of these
I had a
moments, we
vision.
feel
Consequences. That was my vision. And I
That
said,
space
yeah,
between
I want to
your
take
urge
drum
to
lessons.
comply
So the
and your
teacher would bring
deeper
his
desire
drum and set
to
next to
act
mine.
in
I didn't have a
alignment
nice drum
with
like
your
this. My
values.
parents bought me a beat-up old
Most of
drum
us
at an
try to
auction.
ignore it.
And
We
they
tell
said to me,
ourselves, "Don't
if
make
you get
trouble.
better,
It's
if
not
your
a big
teacher
deal. Let it
tells us you're
go."
getting, they're holding me
But
accountable.
that tension,
Teacher says you're getting better.
that's not
We'll get you a
weakness.
better snare drum and then a
That's your
bass drum and then some
values
cymbals.
speaking.
And that was my vision
If
and
you
that
had
kept me
given away
going.
all your
Consequences.
agency, if you had given away
So
all
the teacher
your
would come
power,
in
you
and
wouldn't
he would
feel
show me
any
stuff. You know,
tension.
this is
You
how
would just go along
left
with
hand.
it.
This is how Buddy
That
Rich
tension
plays with his left
is
hand
your
and his right hand.
strength.
And they would just do things like a flam.
Whether it manifests as anxiety,
Can you hear that in the back?
doubt, or
You
even
okay?
physical discomfort,
And this is a rim shot.
pay attention.
He would show me stuff. I was just 10
That
years old, remember?
tension
And when he
could
showed me
listen to
stuff,
your
I felt,
tension
wow.
could
He
lead
showed me this little simple
to a
drum beat.
safer
Watch me,
office.
Scott. Watch this.
It could protect someone in the workplace, on the
I
subway.
practiced it, and I
It
did
could
it.
lead your
I'm
company
feeling
out of
competent.
legal trouble
He showed me a
and even your boss
paradiddle.
out of
Listen,
jail.
paradiddle.
And what's
Paradiddle.
people into
And he said, you
something
go home when you
much
practice next week. I want to
a
see your
less racist
paradiddle. And I
society.
said, watch this. And I'd say, watch this. He said, that's a double
It's not about
paradiddle.
reacting to a gut
We didn't
feeling.
get there yet.
That
I'm reading ahead.
tension, when held to the light, helps
'Cause I'm
you see more
self-motivated.
clearly,
I feel
not
competent.
less.
I'm
It's
walking
not the
through
voice of
Muhlenberg
panic.
High School,
It's not
Allentown,
an
Pennsylvania, and I see
emotional
the music
reaction.
teacher, and he
It's
says,
often
I hear you're learning to play the
the
drums. I said,
whisper
yeah, and I'm getting
of
good. He said, you can march in the band.
I've seen
You can be the
this
snare drummer.
resistance
Whoa,
to
that felt good.
resistance
Another
everywhere.
vision.
In one
Then the
study
teacher comes
that
into
I
my.
conducted,
These
I had
are
a man
private lessons, by the way.
dressed
$2.
in a
$2. That was a
suit
long time ago.
asked
He said, he said,
participants to
Scott,
make
you ready to do a
choice.
drum roll?
You can take
I said, of course, I'm ready for a drum roll. He says,
$5
watch,
in
Scott.
cash
Here you go.
with
Watch
$5
this.
bills. Entered into a mystery lottery
would you do that
is
again?
worth less. It
Scott,
pays somewhere between
this
0
is
to $10.
easy.
But the average
Watch me.
payment What do most people
Now
do
you
in this
practice that.
situation?
And next
Well,
week,
the majority
I want to
of
see a drum roll.
participants, 92%,
He comes back next week. He
chose
says,
the
how's your drum?
guaranteed $5
I can do a
in cash.
paradiddle.
Wouldn't
That's
you do
regression.
the same?
I want to see a drum
Only
roll.
8%
Week
chose
after
the
week.
mystery
Now
lottery.
we're talking about distress.
However, when the man
Now we're talking
simply
about
recommended
apathy.
you take
Now
the
we're
lottery,
talking about learned
now
helplessness.
20%
That's what psychologists
of
call
people
it.
complied.
I remember walking through that elementary school and
Even
seeing the
more
music teacher,
surprising
and he
was
said,
in another
so
condition,
Scott, how you doing?
when
How are the
man
drums?
disclosed a conflict of interest
Not so good.
and said that he would receive
can't
a
do a
bonus
drum roll.
if you took the lottery.
You know, like adults always say,
Compliance
never say
more
can't.
than
You can be anything you
doubled
want to be,
to
Scott.
42%.
I can't do a drum roll.
Even
I've
though
tried
the
and I've tried and
participants told
I've
us
kind of given
they
up. And he said,
trusted
Scott,
the
when you ever get
advice less,
overwhelmed,
and they
break it
liked the
down.
man less.
Break it
They
down. Can you do a
complied
paradiddle?
more. Why?
Yeah.
Like
Okay,
with
what's the second
me,
beat?
with
2
Dan,
beats.
the financial advisor.
Yeah, well, that's a drum roll,
He
Geller.
didn't want to